Hongkongers to pay some 2% less for power next year thanks to easing fuel prices. The University of Science and Technology wins the race to run the city's third med school. And the Beijing-Tokyo row has no sign of easing after top diplomats of both nations met in Beijing. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Hongkongers will pay a cheaper electricity bill starting January 1st next year, as the city's two power companies will cut their overall charges by some 2%. A typical family of three is expected to pay $10 less per month for their power bills than now. Jamie Liu tells us more.
Following the 2024 reduction, the two utility firms will again cut overall charges in 2026, which are made up of a base rate and a fuel surcharge. HK Electric, which serves Hong Kong Island and Lemma Island, will raise its basic tariff to 127.9 cents per unit of electricity, but reduce its fuel surcharge to 35.4 cents. This will put the net tariff, or the overall charge for 2026, at 163.3 cents per unit, a 2.2% reduction compared to this year. CLP Power, which serves Kowloon, the New Territories, and most outlying islands, will also increase its basic tariff to 101.2 cents per unit by 3.2 cents compared to now. But it will lower the fuel surcharge to 39.4 cents, allowing the net tariff to drop to 140.6 cents per unit, or a decrease of 2.6% from the current rate. The two power companies said under the new prices, a three-person household using 275 units of electricity per month will pay $10 less per month. CLP Managing Director Joseph Law attributed the reduction to a further drop in international fuel prices this year and cost control efforts. He expressed hope the tariff cuts can relieve the pressure on daily expenses of residents and the operating cost of small businesses. However, despite cheaper electricity bills for residents, the two suppliers are in fact raising the base rate. HK Electric's General Manager for Corporate Development Bill Ho highlighted extreme weather events as one of the factors. He said vast resources are required to ensure the company's infrastructure is resilient enough to maintain a stable power supply in severe weather. Secretary for Environment and Ecology Che Jin-wan stressed that the government has strictly reviewed the tariff proposals. He encouraged citizens to develop environmental-friendly habits in using electricity regardless of the price of power bills. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
The Hong Kong University of Science and Technology has won approval to operate Hong Kong's third medical school, securing a pivotal role in shaping the city's healthcare future after prevailing in an 8-month competition among major tertiary institutions. Quentin Yang reports.
The government announced the Executive Council has endorsed HKUST's proposal, confirming its victory over competing proposals from the Polytechnic University and Baptist University. The decision followed a comprehensive assessment by a dedicated task group jointly led by Secretary for Health Lo Chung Mao and Secretary for Education Christine Choi. Lo highlighted the winning proposal's superior strengths in its innovative strategic positioning, funding model, and research capabilities. He expressed confidence that a third medical school led by HKUST would create powerful synergies and drive complementary development with the two existing schools run by the University of Hong Kong and the Chinese University of Hong Kong. The school is targeting its first intake of 50 medical students for 2028, with graduation expected in 2032. While a site in the northern metropolis's Ngau Tan Mei area is reserved for a permanent campus and teaching hospital by 2034 at the earliest, HKUST will initially invest $2 billion in an interim medical complex at its Clearwater Bay campus. Ultimately, Lo stressed the new school is vital to addressing the chronic manpower shortage in the sector, increasing the number of doctors, and supporting the city's ambition to become an international hub for health and medical innovation. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
The city's latest jobless rate has fallen slightly to 3.8%, beating expectations. The jobless rate for August to October came in lower than the forecast 4%, with the number of unemployed dropping by around 6,000 to roughly 150,000. Meanwhile, the underemployment rate remained steady at 1.6%, though the number of underemployed individuals increased by 800. Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun stated that amid the steadily expanding economy and improving business sentiment, a gradual recovery in consumer confidence should continue to support the labor market. However, he noted that employment conditions in some sectors may still face challenges brought by economic restructuring. Hongkongers are reminded to layer up as the weather will become cooler tonight, with the mercury dropping to 14 degrees Celsius tomorrow morning. The Hong Kong Observatory warned that a wind chill effect will make people feel even colder than the actual temperature. Jamie Liu reports.
According to the forecaster, an intense northeast monsoon is affecting the coast of Guangdong, bringing a cooler weather to the city. In the commercial area of Wan Chai, residents wrapped themselves in coats as temperatures were already notably lower during the day. The observatory also reminded citizens of a rather significant wind chill effect, which makes it feel colder than a thermometer reading. Speaking on a radio program, Che Suk-mei, HKO Acting Assistant Director, explained the effect occurs when strong winds make it easier to carry away the body's heat. Everyone should avoid staying outdoors for too long when it is very windy, she cautioned. Speaking on the same program, Maria Leung, chairwoman of Hospital Authority's Coordinating Committee in Family Medicine, said while recent number of flu cases at outpatient clinics remained steady, authorities will monitor the situation closely and increase manpower to boost consultation capacity when necessary. Leung urged residents to get vaccinated, particularly vulnerable groups and those traveling over Christmas, as neighboring regions, including the mainland, South Korea and Japan, have recently seen a rise in flu cases. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
High-level consultations between China and Japan concluded in Beijing, with little progress in resolving diplomatic frictions. While Beijing repeatedly demanded Tokyo withdraw wrongful remarks about Taiwan, the Japanese representative refrained from making a promise, but reiterated the government's position on Taiwan remains unchanged. Quentin Yang shares more.
Bilateral talks, which extended for several hours, concluded with a grim-faced departure of both officials from the Foreign Ministry compound. Liu Jinsong, Director General of the Foreign Ministry Asian Affairs Department, later told reporters he was not satisfied with the outcome. Visiting Kanai Masaki, Director General of the Japanese Foreign Ministry's Asian and Oceanian Affairs Bureau, directly left for airport without taking media questions. During the talks, China again launched protests over Japanese Prime Minister Tsunai Takaichi's recent comments on Taiwan, which Beijing called fallacies, violating international law and the One China principle. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning later reviewed. Mao stressed that Takaichi's remarks fundamentally undermined the political foundation of China-Japan relations and provoked public anger among the Chinese people. She urged Japan to correct deviations and cease creating trouble on issues involving China. Meanwhile, the consultations also addressed Japan's concern over a Chinese travel advisory, urging citizens not to visit Japan. Beijing reiterated it will continue to protect its overseas citizens in accordance with the law. The diplomatic spat has already led to a dramatic fall in shares of Japanese tourism and retail firms, according to local media. Despite Japan's chief cabinet secretary maintaining the government's position on Taiwan has not changed, analysts believe this impasse is set to last. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
The United Kingdom has announced a major tightening of measures for asylum seekers who enter the country illegally. Meanwhile, it has pledged to keep its commitments on the bespoke schemes for Ukrainians, vulnerable people from Afghanistan, as well as Hongkongers who immigrated there under the British National Overseas or BNO pathway.
Our asylum system is broken. The breaking of that asylum system is causing huge division across our whole country. It is a moral mission for me to resolve that division across our country.
Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood added that over the past 4 years, some 400,000 people have come to the UK to claim asylum, placing an immense burden on the country and making it necessary to take decisive action. The new measures include shortening the period of refugee residency from 5 years to just 30 months. Refugees will be forced to return to their home countries once those are deemed safe. They will also need to be resident in the UK for 20 years instead of the current 5 before they can apply for permanent residency or indefinite leave to remain. Despite these reforms, there would be new safe and legal routes on humanitarian grounds, so refugees from Ukraine and Afghanistan would stay unaffected. Besides, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to the more than 160,000 Hongkongers who have moved to the UK since 2021 via the BNO pathway, which allows BNO visa holders to live, work, and study in the UK, with the option to apply for permanent residency after 5 years and citizenship after another year. We are still and always will be a country that accepts those who are truly fleeing peril, says the newly released policy paper, describing Britain has honored its commitments to people of Hong Kong, and the new migration routes would not affect the existing pledges. Shares in Hong Kong dived for a third day as expectations of a near-term U.S. rate cut waned, with the benchmark index closing below the 26,000 mark and dropping some 1,100 points in 3 days. New economy and financial stocks led the decline. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 454 points. Top active stocks of the day: Alibaba was down 30 cents. Tencent was down $13. SMIC was up $1.05. Hua Hong Semiconductor was up $2.70. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Euro 9.02, the British pound 10.23. Getting rich in Hong Kong is not far from being a reality, as a private survey has unveiled that 1 in every 14 Hong Kongers is a multi-millionaire, thanks to a resurgent stock market and a bottoming out property market. Citibank surveyed 2,600 Hong Kong residents aged 21 to 79 during December last year to January this year and August to October this year. Survey findings show that the city's population of individual with net assets over $10 million has grown to about 395,000 this year, accounting for about 7% of the adult population, meaning 1 in every 14 Hong Konger is a multi-millionaire. This marks an increase of 5,000 individuals compared to 2024, with the average age being 55. The median total net worth of millionaires stands at $20.5 million, while the median liquid assets amount to $10 million. Survey findings indicate that these millionaires accumulated their first pot of gold at an average age of 34, with over 40% of respondents citing stocks and investment funds as the primary means of earning their initial capital. Additionally, their average age at first home purchase was 33, with over half of respondents indicating that they bought property primarily for self-occupation. Onto the weather now. Mainly cloudy, 1 or 2 light rain patches at first. Appreciably cooler, temperatures will range between 14 to 17 degrees. It will be very dry during the day. Fresh northerly winds, strong offshore and on high ground. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching and good night.